The Israelites were once a free people, but over time they became slaves in Egypt. They had to work very hard building cities and doing other difficult jobs. Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, was a cruel man. He made the Israelites' lives miserable. They cried out for help. They prayed for God to rescue them. Their prayers reached God's ears. He saw their suffering and heard their cries. God had a plan to free his people. He would show his power and love in a mighty way. He chose a man named Moses to lead the Israelites out of slavery. Moses was an Israelite, but he had grown up in Pharaoh's palace. He knew about the Israelites' suffering. One day, God spoke to Moses from a burning bush. God gave Moses a very important job. He told Moses to go to Pharaoh and tell him to let the Israelites go free. Moses was afraid. He said to God, "Who am I to go to Pharaoh?" But God promised to be with Moses. He gave Moses strength and courage. Moses trusted God and agreed to go. Moses went to Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go." But Pharaoh refused. He was stubborn and refused to listen to God. So God sent 10 plagues to Egypt. These plagues showed Pharaoh that God was more powerful than he was. The Nile River turned to blood. Frogs covered the land. Flies and locusts swarmed everywhere. Boils covered the Egyptians. Hail and fire rained down from the sky. Finally, God sent the 10th and most terrible plague, the death of the firstborn son in every Egyptian family. After the 10th plague, Pharaoh finally agreed to let the Israelites go free. They left Egypt in a hurry, carrying their belongings on their backs. But Pharaoh changed his mind again. He sent his army to chase after the Israelites. The Israelites were trapped between Pharaoh's army and the Red Sea. They were terrified. Then God did something amazing. He parted the Red Sea. The Israelites walked across on dry land. When the Egyptian army tried to follow, the waters crashed down and drowned them. The Israelites were free at last. They had witnessed the awesome power of God.